Hi, my name is Shane. I use they and them pronouns, and this is a game of hashtag iHunt. This is, let's see, the second session of actual play. If you have followed this series on YouTube, I don't know that there's anyone who actually has, but the first session was labeled 1 of 12. I think this one will be labeled something like 2 of 9 because unfortunately we had to cancel a few sessions. So you haven't missed anything. That's just where we're at. We'll recap where the story's at in just a minute, but first I will ask the players to introduce themselves and their characters. So for you and your character, just your name and pronoun and anything that you want to tell us about yourself or them. And I reckon we'll go left to right across the keeper. So, Kay, do you want to go first?
Yeah, of course. Hi, I am Kay of the She and They variety, and I will be playing Nikko. He is our night hitter, and he's kind of just a young gun trying to find his place, just make some good money, and, deal with the absolute shithole that is capitalism.
Excellent summary. Thank you. Matthew?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Judy, she, her pronouns. Yeah, Judy's kind of it's a night operator. Is that my recollection correctly? I'm still trying to open the Google sheet. But
Operative.
yeah, operative who is of the crafty variety, always looking around to improvise, given that she's grown up with a lot of, you know, paranoia and fear and uncertainty in her life. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. And Thomas?
Yeah, hi, I'm Thomas, he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Kraken Bombay. Kraken, he, they is a internet hating community journalist slash agni aunt. Just here to fight the good fight.
Excellent. So, where we left off last time is that you have accepted a job on the iHunt app to deal with an undead creature that had attacked some patrons of a local bar. And what you'd established pretty much is that it's some sort of like Frankenstein's monster type creature, probably came from the local university, but you had sort of tracked it to an old, disused, like cellar under the bar. Previously, booze was stored here, but the cellar is in such poor repair and in such an advanced state of collapse that it's no longer used for that, but is where the Frankenstein is sort of lairing. It's just after midnight. Um, I should mention that we also had a fourth player, Puckett, who's not able to join us anymore. But Puckett's character, anti-Christian Death Star, had successfully warded the alleyway to keep undead out. Which, as it turns out, now that you know that the creature is beneath the alleyway, means that it can't emerge from the cellar, and it has kind of backed down those stairs inside the cellar, and is sort of, uh, you know, non-verbally taunting you with gurgles and moans to come and get it. But it's pretty dark and spooky looking down there. So, eye hunters, what are you going to do?
I think before we descend down those dark depths, I'd like to turn to everyone and give a big impressive speech. Uh,
Nice.
but the gist of it is that I say I've researched Frankenstein's, and by that I mean I looked at an internet article about the book, and sorry, I did
You
look at
looked
an
at
internet
the internet
article.
article.
Sorry, I definitely didn't do that. What I did is I asked a friend of mine about the book. She read it, so it was useful. It was a logical choice to ask her. I just want to make that very clear. And she told me that Frankenstein's typically their weakness is their heart. And I think she meant feelings, but she could have also meant it literally. I didn't have a lot of time to clarify, so just letting everybody know. um, yeah, so I'm trying to create an aspect with a free invoke that says, uh, "Go," soft heart, like something like that. Like go for the heart or something like that.
All right. So, that's one of your stunts, right? You get a bonus to it when you create an advantage by making an inspirational speech. So, what skill are you going to use to try and create that advantage? Probably
Right.
influencer.
Uh, I I think I could make a case for organizer here.
Yep, I buy that.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, so I think probably it's just a difficulty of 2 for this. Well, I'm tempted to make your teammates roll defense against your inspirational speech, but I guess that's a little inappropriate. So we'll just say the difficulty is 2. So go
Okay.
ahead and roll that.
So I'm rolling 4 fudge dice and adding +3 to it, right?
Adding whatever your organizer skill is, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is very bad. So
that is so bad.
that is a total of 0. So you can invoke an aspect here to either re-roll the dice themselves or to add 2. If you add 2, that's going to bring you up to a tie, which like the default tie result for creating an advantage is that you don't create an aspect, but you do get a boost, which as a reminder is a temporary aspect that can only be used once. I think because of your stunt, you would get the boost plus a what do you call it? Plus the free invoke. So you get an aspect. Would you get an aspect anyway? Once per session, if you give a big motivational speech, the aspect you create gets an additional free invoke. No, so you only get your benefit from your stunt if you actually create an aspect, I guess.
Okay. Now I'd like to just spend a fate point and reroll invoke.
So what aspect are you invoking?
God.
What quality of yours or of the environment is going to help you here?
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's the environment. It just seems like. Oh wait. I mean. Actually, this is a good time to clarify this, Shane. Like, how do the environment aspects work? Can I see, like, I see that the Frankenstein has an aspect here. Can I invoke that?
Yeah, you can definitely. It's called a hostile invoke to invoke your enemy's aspects against them. That's
Yeah.
absolutely something that you can do if you think that their aspects help with what you're trying to do.
Okay. So I want to invoke Big Mindless Brute, and I think I don't know. See, logically, I think I'm invoking it in a weird way because it seems like it's the opposite. But I think that's my point. Like the fact that it hasn't, first of all, that it hasn't emerged from the basement into this watered area. Like, I think the idea is it's not. Like Big Mindless Brute is not a fact about it, but a judgment, an unfair judgment made against this creature. Like,
Interesting. Okay, so I buy that as a rationalization, but just to be clear, aspects are always true. Like that's something that we should know about fate.
Okay,
So your
fine,
character
fine.
may think it's not true. You can definitely invoke the aspect on that basis, but anything that's
a
an aspect
good
is a
point.
fact about the world of the game.
Okay.
So if you want to spend your fate point and invoke that aspect, you can re-roll your dice and hope for better than a 0 this time.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, I will do that.
All right, so that is a tie. Again, the tie is just going to get you a boost. Whereas, well, I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, you tell me if you think that we should rule this a different way. If you
No, I think the boost is fine. Like
All right.
I think I would like to ask everyone else why they don't believe me. Why they think I'm being a dumbass.
Wait, what is the nature of your speech? Like, what is the quality?
I am trying to suggest that the creature's true weakness is its heart, and I open the door to that being a literal biological fact, or the metaphorical thing of it has feelings, and that is its great weakness.
I think, for my part, I think Judy accepts like the matter of factness of what you say, but at the same time doesn't really see it as actually useful or meaningful. It's like, oh, well, of course the weakness is the heart. Like, like very dismissive and very unappreciative of like what you actually like researched for. So I think that's how that speech doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Nikko takes it and is like, this thing has murked people. I do not think we should be trying to romance it out of, whatever. We need to blunt instrument this thing.
And by blunt instrument, you mean your fists.
Or my bat, or anything of that nature.
No
So-
man is a prophet in his own land. I've heard people say that. I think it's true. Yeah.
So I've added a boost called Its Weakness is Its Heart. You should all be able to see that on the old cellar tab where we have our zones and aspects and things like that. I guess because the nature of this game is that we're not really playing with hidden information per se, you will also see there that in addition to the Frankenstein, there is an enemy called the Bride that you haven't seen yet, who has the lurking in the shadows aspect. So that is something your characters are presumably going to find out fairly soon, but you don't know for now. And you'll see that the cellar itself is also an enemy, or at least an obstacle to contend with. So Kraken's inspirational speech has fallen a little flat. You do have a free invoke. I'm pretty sure Kraken created this one, the lay of the land, which is just sort of a sense of the area, like of the layout of the opportunities. And the ward that Christian created last time, Fuck You Zombies, that has 2 free invokes attached to it that you can all use. So the monster kind of cackles or laughs from the cellar. It thinks you're too scared to come down after it. What do you do?
Whose turn is it? I'm a little.
I mean, we're not really into a turn order yet. Whoever wants to
Okay.
take an action can.
Oh,
do
okay. Then yeah, we've got this monster. It's kind of there. Nikko's a little gung ho, and the best defense is a good offense. He's gonna, try and go in for like a fucking, punch on this thing.
All right, so you're heading down into the cellar. Is that?
I
that's
think
where
it's
the
like a
monster
leap,
is?
a leap into the cellar. A leap
Nice. All right,
onto
so
the thing.
So you get down there, you can see, it is an old liquor cellar. There are pools of liquor where the bottles have broken, where beer kegs have busted, things like that. The monsters have tried to make it a little bit nice with some candle lights, so there are very sort of dramatic shadows everywhere, pockets of darkness and light. And I mean, even as you jump, as you land on the floor, the thud of your impact shakes the roof a little. It's on the verge of collapse.
Ooh,
But you're going to take a swing at Frankenstein.
heck yeah.
All right, so make an attack roll, probably with fighter.
Yes. Now it's been a hot second. Remind me how I do this, please.
Yeah, so you
and
just
thank you.
roll 4 fudge dice, which are the dice with the plus sign on them, and add whatever
Okay.
you have in fighter. And then I'm going to
Alright.
make a defend roll for the monster.
So I roll 4 fudge dices, and
Yeah.
then my modifier,
That's it.
and if we do any kind of tapping, that comes after, right?
Yeah, so you'll want to wait and see what the monster's defense roll is before you decide if you want to invoke any aspects.
Sounds good.
All right, so that's a 2 from you. I'm going to roll defense for the monster. Now, the other thing to remember is that the monsters always start the combat with the edge. It's going to use its 1 free invoke on the edge, which lets it roll 3 fudge dice and 1 d6. So a big advantage. You can. There are various ways that you can sort of steal the edge from the monsters to use it yourself. All right, so the monster has rolled a 4 to defend. That means you're not going to hit it. unless you want to invoke an aspect to bring that up to a tie, which will not hurt it per se, but will let you have a boost that you can use another time. Or you can let that ride, or you could invoke a couple of aspects and bring it up to like the level of doing damage. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Let's see. What are our invokes that we have? Let's see. Sorry, the cellar. And so we have a free invoke on each of these items, or are they blank? Because I see there's a 2 next to the alley.
Yeah, so if there's a number there or it says boost, that means there's a free invoke that you can use. But if it's blank, there's no free invokes attached, so you'd have to spend a fate point to invoke that one.
Awesome. Okay. Perfect. Good to know. And sorry to ask so many questions, but does it cost a fate point to invoke one of my aspects?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm just going to let this one stay as it is, unfortunately.
Right. And sorry, just the other thing to make sure that we're all clear on is that your fate points reset at the start of every session. So,
wait.
I'm glad I thought to mention this. So if you had a reduced pool of fate points, it's going to go back up to your refresh value, which I think is 5 for all of you.
Oh, well, if that's the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they're really concerned.
Yeah. I was like, if I only have 2 fate points, I gotta be. But now, I am going to invoke my high concept, which is hitter with golden pipes. I'm a hitter. That's kind of what I do. I can't miss. That's upsetting and just totally off base.
Yeah.
So I believe that will bring me up to the 4.
Yeah, so that's a tie.
And then I will also hit up another one. Specifically, I want to use it to make points on the old cellar. To use Candlelit and Moody's shadows, so that it has like a hard time. I'm like using the shadows to kind of almost shadow box and evade its sight line. You know, this thing's got dead eyes. They're dim. It can't see very well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So spending another fate point for that. So that's going to bring you up to 2 points of damage. But the Frankenstein is going to defend itself. It is a big mindless brute, so it's going to spend a fate point from its pool to invoke that and bring you back down to a tie. Do you want to spend a fate point to get back up to doing some damage?
I think actually I'm gonna steal that free invoke, the Lay of the Land.
So you need to check with the person who created it. So Thomas, is that okay?
Oh, is that Thomas's? Okay.
I'm actually not sure if it's mine, so I'm just going to let.
Its weakness is its heart is Thomas's, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't know who the Lay of the Land is.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and
I think it might have been Puckett's.
Fair.
I think it might have been me, but I don't care.
Yeah. I think Judy scouted the place. Like, I think that's what this went up to it, the roof and kind of looked around.
All right. Okay, so that takes you back to 2 points. Will the Frankenstein invoke another aspect to avoid taking damage? I mean, it is mindless, so it's not very smart. I think so. It has the aspect composite corpse with a bad temper. I think that bad temper tells me that it's going to use its fate points more to hurt other people than to defend itself. So it's gonna cop those 2 points of damage. What does that look like?
So given what we have now said, knowing what he has heard from, I'm just gonna say it's Judy, about the way things work and the layouts and observation. We watch as Nikko sort of jumps in and realizes the monster is just like not right there to attack. So he kind of slips into the shadows, moving between moments of lights until he thinks he almost gets caught, but sidesteps once more as this creature turns and kind of grunts and looks for him. And then just like all of a sudden, just like the creature looks down and right underneath him is Nikko, who uppercuts him right in the jaw, standing fully up and sending him, backwards.
Mourning in pain. All right. And who will you pass the initiative to? Bearing in mind that you want to avoid having the monsters be the ones that finish the round.
Yeah, I think. Oh God, there's technically. I was like, I can just not. There's 3 monsters. I think I'm gonna go the cellar. Then I think.
All right. So the cellar will take its turn by trying to create an advantage. Let's see. The
For me,
advantage.
because it loves me so.
I have some bad news about that. It's going to create it's going to try and create an advantage. I guess you'll be able to defend against this advantage that it's trying to create. I think the advantage it's trying to create is just in the way. So it has a skill called block. It's going to try and stop you from being able to move around easily. I mean, obviously, I'm saying it's going to try like the cellar is sentient, but that's not the fiction. The fiction is just that, it's a dirty old cellar and it's difficult to navigate, and that's represented in the game by skills. So I am going to roll its block skill. All right, it's rolled a 5. Kay or Nikko, do you want to try and defend against that?
Yeah, I think so.
So what skill would you use to get around its attempts to block you?
I think the fact that I'm an athlete.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Son of a biscuit bastard.
The cellar has beaten you by 3 shifts, which means it will succeed with style and get an aspect with 2 free invokes attached to it. Or you can spend a fate point to invoke something and reduce its success or negate its success. Do you want to do that?
Really chipping away through my fate points right now.
Well, you can just let it have its 2 free invokes.
Shane may be directly punishing you.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, would this be considered a physical source of harm or no?
Is there a stunt or something that you're looking at? Because
I do have a stunt.
What's the stunt?
Pain don't hurt. Hitters learn to push their bodies beyond what only reasonable humans should and come back punching. When you're hit by a physical source of harm, you can spend a fate point to ignore some of that harm and turn it back around on your attacker. Reduce the hit by 2 and take a boost. You can only do this once per hit. Also, anytime you take a major consequence, you immediately get the edge.
So that's really cool. There's no harm attached to this. It's just creating the advantage. So I don't think that's going to apply.
All right.
But
yeah.
I think there's a good chance that you are about to take some physical damage. So
yeah,
that's going to come in handy.
I'll wait a turn. We'll let this happen.
All right. So the cellar, it's just like you're just realizing down there that there's like wreckage everywhere. There's broken glass. There's bits of, masonry, bricks, all kinds of just junk that's making it hard to move around down there. And the cellar is going to pass the initiative to... let's give the initiative to Judy.
What's the difference between a basement and a cellar? Speaking as someone who lives in a country that floods routinely and therefore we do not build subterranean chambers.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I think of this as like in Australia, and I hope in America to make this make sense in the setting. Like pubs would typically have like a storage area just underneath the main shop kind of area where they keep their liquor.
Typically, at least from America, this is the American standpoint I can give, is basements are usually like very finished parts of your house. Like they're typically well done. And typically a cellar is very much like things like a root cellar. Typically it's like a cold place where you store something. There's not like, there's usually some lighting, but it's not like a fully furnished, carpeted part of your house. It's usually used for storage. And it's usually got like, like stone and or dirt just like really bare bones work done to it. It's not a place where you would hang out or do anything.
So a basement would be paved and a cellar would not.
Typically, you might pave a basement if you need to do a lot of storage. Like or things like that to make it a little evenly to put your stuff out. But like you wouldn't carpet a cellar and then throw a sofa in there and hang up a
Yeah,
TV.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, just wanted to be sure. So in the cellar, it's like mostly wreckage, I think. Uh, um, the status of the monster is that they are completely in Nico's face. Am I right?
Um, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like staggered back a little bit as Nico hit it pretty hard.
Mm, I'm hoping to I'm hoping to use situational awareness anytime you're compelled or imperiled by a situational aspect. Really? Oh wait, no, I'm not imperiled.
You're not compelled or imperiled at the moment.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. I'll see when the monster flinches, if I can like see what it's trying to protect from itself.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
like
I
taking
mean,
into
it's a big mindless
consideration.
brute. I don't
Yeah.
know that it's like thinking like that. The So what are you trying to do? You're trying to like get a sense of what else might be down there.
Yeah, like obviously when it attacks or gets in Nico's way, it has to have like some kind of like motivation, whether it's to inflict direct violence on anyone who comes in, or trying to protect someone from within from coming at them. Like, does it value something in the room, or is it trying to make its escape? That kind of thing.
Yeah, right. So you definitely get the sense. I don't think you need to rule for this. Like it is visibly just mindlessly attacking. That's what's happening. It doesn't seem to be protecting anything, worried about anything. Like maybe it's territorial. This is its home. Maybe it just likes hurting things, but it doesn't have any very complicated motivation going on right now.
Okay. I guess I'll try to find that weak spot that Kraken talked about.
Hmm. How are you doing that?
I think just sort of maintaining my distance while offering himself her. Well, okay, so Judy sort of like offers herself as like a threat, but is also kind of like focusing entirely on dodging while studying the motions of the monster
Okay.
as she feigns a threat.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like you're trying to create an advantage by like studying its movements and things like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is I for entropy. You're great at pointing out weak points when you create an advantage pointing out weakness.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So what skill are you going to use to create that?
that is an
Advantage?
investigator action.
Okay, sick. So roll. I'm having real trouble with roll with me today. I don't know what's going on, but go ahead and roll your investigator. Uh,
So that's 4 fudge dice.
yep, plus whatever your investigator is.
All right, so 4 plus 2. Got it. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 fudge dice plus 2. All right, roll.
Oh my god. Wait,
God.
wait, wait. No, 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 no. Sorry, I wasn't clear. So you just roll 4 fudge dice and you add the number 2. You don't add 2 extra fudge dice.
So one.
So
So
just go
I
roll it
think just
again.
re-roll
Yeah.
at that point.
okay,
So
all right.
just rolling 4 fudge dice with the modifier 2.
Okay, okay, we got 2.
Right. So that's a 2. So the monster is going to roll to defend your attempt to study its movements. I guess it doesn't really have any skills that are relevant for this, so it's just going to roll its dice flat. But it does have the edge, and it'll spend a fate point to like that. All right, so it's got a 4. You've got a 2. Um, do you want to spend a fate point to invoke something to bring yourself up to a tie, or are you just going to let it go for now?
I think I'll let it go for now. Yeah.
All right, so you haven't really been able to get a sense of like what is really happening. Its movements are so unpredictable and mindless that you just don't quite have it. And
Yeah.
who will you pass the initiative to? Kraken, Frankenstein, or the Bride?
I want to
You sh-
pass.
yeah, you
Sorry,
should
we
pass
were.
it to one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to pass it to the bride.
All right. So none of you can
Reveal
see the
yourself.
bride. Oh, she is not going to be revealing herself. She's
What?
lurking in the shadows. And she is going to create the advantage. Oh, she's going to try and create the advantage. Let's see. I think the advantage that she's trying to create is like the in the right place at the right time. She's trying to position herself perfectly. Um, Judy, just to be clear about what's happening, are you down in the cellar or are you trying to watch this from up in the street?
I'm down in the cellar there with
Okay.
Nico, basically.
All right. So I think you'll be the one who's, because you're kind of watching what's happening as well, you'll be the one who's in a position to try and defend against the bride, like figuring out the angles and stuff like that. She's going to try and create an advantage, I think, using her assassin skill. So I'm going to roll that first. She has rolled an 11.
What?
Which
Wait, what?
I don't
11?
She has. So she's rolling with the
The
edge.
dice don't like us tonight. They're like, "Where's Puckett? Who this?"
So you've
Who this?
you've got to understand the edge is super powerful as long as they have it. The edge means that they're instead of rolling 4 fudge dice, where the highest you can roll is basically 1 per dice, they're rolling a d6 as one of them. So 1 is the lowest that they can roll on that die, and 6 is the highest. And this time she did roll a 6 on the d6. So that's how it's ended up at a ridiculously high number.
Amazing. Now,
So
point differences don't count for degrees of success, right?
only to a limited extent. So 3 shifts of success or more is called success with style. So she is going to succeed with style.
I just
but-
love the Bride of Frankenstein just being like, I can succeed with style on a surfboard.
So she will succeed with style. She gets 2 free invokes on in the right place at the right time. I'll just make a note that's the bride. She still hasn't revealed herself. And look, unfortunately for you, she is the smart one. That's one of her aspects. So she is tactical enough that she's going to pass the initiative to Kraken now, which means the monsters will finish the round with it. Kraken, what are you going to do?
Shane, how do I work towards getting the edge?
Good. Yeah. So there's 2 ways you can get the edge, or there's a few ways. The main ones are if you succeed with style when you roll to defend, which you can't really, you can't sort of proactively do that, or you can try and make an overcome action to take the edge in some way. So if you tell us what you're doing, like to overcome the advantage that the monsters have in this situation, you can roll for that. I mean, the problem that you have is that they can still use the edge to defend against your attempt to overcome.
True. Okay. We have no free invokes on the table except my boost, right?
You do. You still have 2 free invokes on Fuck You Zombies, which you can use now, like to do drawing on the power of the ward that Christian created.
Okay. All right. And I can invoke after the roll, right? So I can.
Yeah,
I
you
can
always
set
invoke
something.
after the roll when you find out
Cool.
whether you even need to.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Okay, so I'm just gonna look up the actions sheet, and okay, I'm just looking whether I can see. Okay, yeah, I can use investigator to overcome. Investigator is my best kind of action.
Yeah.
So
So what are you doing?
yeah. I am. Okay. I am. I think I'm closing my eyes and just listening to the sounds from the basement and trying to figure out what's going on there, because it seems like more than just this this Frankenstein thing, So
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So go ahead and roll 4 fudge dice plus your investigator skill.
Cool. Let's see. This is. Oh, there we
Wow.
go. There
That
we go.
is complaining that the dice aren't on your side. That is the best possible roll for
Sque-
a character at the start
The
of an
Squeaky
dice
wheel
RPG.
gets.
heard and was like, I can be
Yeah,
impartial, don't worry.
Impartial.
I think it's more like the dice heard and they were like, "How dare I be accused? I will not stand for this
Slander.
slander."
Yeah, that's right. All right, so that's an 8 for you, but let's see. The bride is going to roll to defend, and she still has the edge. Oh, she's only rolled a 3. Damn. Oh,
Wow.
so she's going to have to sink her fate points into this to try and keep the edge, I think is what she'll do.
She's smart. She'll try that.
Yeah, so let's see. To get up to, so she's going to have to get to 9 to beat you. So that's what? 1, 2. So she's going to spend 3 fate. She's going to need to invoke 3 aspects. She is going to invoke the smart one aspect for 1 fate point.
And she has
She
2
is going to.
free invokes. Yeah.
So she hasn't touched her free invokes yet. She's saving those ones. She's going to invoke her lurking in the shadows aspect for another one, and she needs 1 more. What's she got? Let's have a look at what's going on around her. I think she's going to invoke the candlelight and moody shadows. Like, it's hard to see in here. It's not just the noise. Like, there is something about the lack of light that's making it harder. So that is going to take out her personal pool of fate points, which is very good for you, although the GM still has some fate points to use. But that means she beats your overcome action. Do you want to invoke anything to bring it back to a success?
Yeah.
Do you want
I
to use your
would like.
boost?
Yeah, I'm thinking about how to use my boost, and um, I think I'm going to use fuck you zombies actually, which is that like I think the ward is like starting to like it's starting to seep into the basement now. Like I think like I'm able to kind of like draw on it somehow, and it's sort of like allowing me to kind of hear better as it like as its magical
Yeah.
power kind of like helps me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So use one of take down the free invokes to 1. Let's see. Does she have anything left? Is there any way that she can get out of this? So I think that she will spend a fate point to invoke. I don't know. What is she gonna? The Oh, okay. I know what she'll do. No, sure. I was thinking that she would try and invoke one of your aspects against you, but I don't think there's any that she can really use right now. So all right, I think you have succeeded, and you will take the edge from the monsters.
Amazing.
So that means that your side has 1 free use of the edge, and other than that, you can any of you can now spend a fate point to roll with the edge.
Nice.
So good work. You're like presumably shouting something about this to the others, letting them know that. I mean, you must have figured out that she's down there. Like that's got to be what's
That's what's
tangibly
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
also
right.
the cellar is like breaking. Like I think that also is be careful.
Yeah. All right. So Frankenstein is going to take his turn now, and edge or not, he is going to hit as hard as he can because that's the only thing he knows how to do. So Nikko, you're the one like right there trying to punch on with Frankenstein. So he is going to swing at you. Let me see. He will start by making an attack with fighter. Bear with me for a sec. I am very much looking forward to our short break when I'll try and get Roll With Me to work properly because I'm really struggling. It's so sad not having the edge. All right, so Frankenstein has rolled a 0 for his attack. Nikko, you still need to roll to defend, probably using fighter or athlete. I guess could be a defense as well. Oh, poor Frankenstein. He was feeling so confident a minute ago. But okay. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I have 3. So I have 3 degrees as a success on him. So what does that mean for a defend roll?
Well, so first you've got to think about like he's going to use some aspects to.
Okay.
So he's going to use. So you can, if you've got multiple free invokes on an aspect, you can use them at the same time. Whereas for the most part, you can't invoke an aspect more than once on a single roll. So he's going to use both of the in the right place at the right time free invokes to bring himself up to a success by 1 shift. He is also going to use the cellar being in the way to bring it up to 3 shifts of harm against you. So he's spending all of the free invokes on his side. And he's also going to spend a fate point to invoke his composite corpse with a bad temper aspect. And that is going to bring him up to 5 shifts of harm against you. Do you want to invoke any aspects to reduce that?
So correct me. We have the edge right now.
Mm-hmm.
So hitters learn to push their bodies on. You can only do this once per hit. Reduce your.
So yeah, your aspect or your stunt where you can do something cool, like when you take harm, you're welcome to use that.
That's what I'm thinking. So when it says you immediately get the edge, does that mean at a cost or for like do I just get it for free at that point?
That just means that if you didn't have the edge already, you would have been able to take it.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I think so. He's got 5 on me, right? 5 points of success.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I think I am going to. So first, I'm gonna spend a point, and I'm gonna hitters learn to burst their bodies. So that's gonna reduce the hit by 2, and I take a boost.
Yeah. So what are you gonna? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what a boost does it immediately apply, or?
You can use it immediately if you decide that's what you want to do. But a boost is just an aspect that can only be used once.
Okay.
So do you want to give the boost a name? Like, what's the temporary advantage that you get from the way he hits you?
I think from the way he hits me, flimsy fists.
Oh.
Is the boost I'm gonna give. Like, these aren't that bad. Or they're not as, let me rephrase. They're not as bad as he thinks they are.
Yeah, right. Damn. The poor Frankenstein.
I'm really out for him. So I think that takes it down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still pretty bad, right?
I mean, I guess it depends. Like, as long as you're only taking stress and not getting into your consequences, the stress will just instantly clear at the end of the scene. So
okay. Well, actually, I'm at a 3 also, so we're tied.
Sorry, how do you mean?
Oh wait, he was 3 points above me, not total of 3.
Yeah, that's right. He
Sorry.
was 5 points above, and then you used your stunt, so now it's 3.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I'll leave it at that. I'll keep this done.
All right, so just take 3 points of stress, physical stress.
Okay.
The bad news is Frankenstein is going to give himself the initiative again because we're at the start of the next round. Well, actually, yeah, he's a mindless brute, so he's not going to do anything smart with the initiative. He will just give it to himself and try and hit you again. So he is going to roll his attack with fighter. He's rolled a 3 this time. So go ahead and roll a defense.
Wait, attack with fire?
With fighter.
Fighter.
Oh,
Fighter.
I was
Sorry,
like,
I didn't
what?
enunciate it.
I was terrified there for a second.
But he doesn't like that. That's unfair. We have a match. We have dueling 3s.
Okay, so a tie. He's going to invoke some aspects here to try and actually hurt you. So he's just going to sink my last 2 fate points into invoking Composite Corpse of the Bad Temper and Big Mindless Brute to try and really do some damage to you. That's going to bring him up to 4 shifts of harm against you. You want to take 4 shifts of harm, or do you want to do something with your fate
I'm
points?
gonna grab that free boost
Oh, nice.
that I just made, Flimsy Fists.
All right, so the booster's gone, but that's going to bring it down to 2 shifts of harm. You're going to take those or do something else?
Yeah, I think I can take it.
All right. Frankenstein is, again, a big mindless brute, so is just going to pass the initiative straight away to the bride. The bride, what can she even do without any fate points or the edge? She's going to... I guess she's going to try and create an advantage again. She's going to try and create an advantage. Actually, I think she is going to reveal herself. The advantage that she's going to try and create is by grabbing Judy, like lurching from the shadows and grappling you. So she will try and create an advantage with her fight skill. So bear with me for 1 sec, just having some more roll with me problems. All right, so Judy, this monstrous Frankenstein, this one with an extremely large bouffant hairdo, lurches from the shadow and wraps its cold, dead hands around you. How do you want to roll to defend? Oh, you're muted, Matthew.
I keep forgetting that StreamYard's not a separate app and it's a browser tab. Okay, yeah. Defend. How do we do that then again?
So probably you're going to use fighter, or if there's another skill that you think you'd use, you can use that one. But you're just going to roll 4 fudge dice, or if you want, you can use the edge that your side has to roll 3 fudge dice and 1d6, and add whatever your score in fighter is, or whatever other skill you want to use.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe there's a way that Judy can. Oh, you know what? I'm rolling. Yeah, I'm rolling the fighter defense. Yeah. So,
Cool.
4 fudge dice plus 4.
Cool.
All right. Roll.
And you're trying to beat a 3.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
So the bride lurches for you, but what? Are you too fast for her, or what happens?
I think in the debris that is around this place, Judy positions herself in such a way that makes it a little hard to get at her. You know, it's not impossible, but it's definitely kind of like making it so awkward. And I think that also makes the moment a little funny too, because the bride is trying to be smart and like attack, and Judy's just kind of like do 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 do. You know, for lack of a better term, Benny Hilling around.
All right. So the bride doesn't manage to grab you, but is right out in the open now. And Kraken, she's going to pass the initiative to you.
Okay.
Sorry, Kraken, not Judy.
Okay. um, no one's used the free invoke on the edge, right?
That's right.
And you said the okay. I'm gonna try to shoot the bride when she comes to
Okay.
Judy. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like, no.
All right.
and try
So
to
roll your attack. It sounds like you're using the edge this time.
um, um, yeah, I think so. Um, I've got 3 in fighter, so I think I can use that, right?
Is there a separate shooting skill? I think maybe assassin would be the skill for shooting.
Let me just look that up then.
Oh no, I think you're right. It is fighter if it's like, well, so I think assassin is more like, yeah, one way violence, not a skill for fighting. It's a skill set for
If you're
taking
just
out the
shooting
opponent.
someone, that's assassin. All right, cool. If they're trading shots, it's fighter. Like
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Assassin sounds good. I've got a point on that. Um, so I will roll. Oh, I have no points on that. Okay, forget that. So I'm
I
just
mean, you can
rolling.
still roll it.
Yeah, I guess yeah. So I'm rolling 3 fudge dice, 1d6, um, 0 modifier. Cool. 6.
Nice. So let's see. The bride. I guess she'll have to. Well, she'll try and defend using her hide skill. So she. Okay, so she's taking 1 shift of harm from the roll itself. Do you want to spend any fate points to increase the amount of damage?
Yeah, 100%. How much? Uh, how does this work, Shane? Like, how much should I try to invoke to kill her? Like, do I know?
So the way like I would do this is just like invoke one aspect at a time,
And then
um,
keep raising the
because
stakes. Okay.
she at this point she's got no fate points left. So every invoke you make is going to add 2 points of damage, and if you invoke enough, you will take her out.
Okay. Um,
And don't forget, you still have the boost. Its weakness is its heart, which probably applies just as much to the bride as to Frankenstein, if not more.
I'm actually gonna do a free invoke of my big mood. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So I've got golf swing to the head as my kind of big mood from last time, and
So you just
I'm
get +1, not +2 for invoking a big mood.
okay, cool. Anyway, I will do that as well,
Mhm.
and then we tie, right? So maybe I can put another. Uh, sorry, Shane. If I get a
Sorry.
+1 to it, what happens?
So you've already done 1 shift of harm, so that's going up to 2 shifts of harm. So every point you add is an extra point of damage.
Okay, cool. So I'll invoke that and put 2 shifts. Is she going to defend herself? Is she going to try to?
She's done her best to defend herself. She tried to get out of your way. She's done now. She has no fate points to invoke any more aspects. So
Okay.
you're just telling us how much damage you apply here.
And then it makes sense for me to just pile on some more, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use the next free invoke from Fuck You Zombies, and I'm gonna basically my bullets are got the same energy as the ward. I think because I'm sort of like
Oh
firing
yeah.
from up there. Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's going to be enough. Tell us how you take out the bride.
Um, I think as she comes for Judy, Judy kind of like dodges out of the way and sort of turns around. And as she turns around to kind of face the bride's head explodes. Yeah.
Nice. And who will you pass the initiative to?
Judy, I think.
All right. So, Judy, you are probably covered in a little bit of undead Frankenstein bride brains right now, but the bride is taken out. I guess I do want to know, like, we're at the top of the hour. We can take a break here if anyone's needing it, but I wouldn't mind just playing out the rest of this round and potentially finishing the combat. What do people prefer?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Judy,
Okay. So there are brains all over the place, including, I guess, me.
yes, definitely.
Ah,
I'm just going to add the brains all over the place aspect to the cellar.
yikes! And how is Frankenstein doing?
I mean, still a mindless brute, still like yelling, still moaning inarticulately, still swinging those big but somewhat flimsy fists. Um,
I'm so fed up with this stuff. I am going to get a um. I guess I'm gonna try to attack the Frankenstein, but this time maybe reach for like a chair leg or something like that I can use uh, to beat him with, and because I'm sure my puny little fists aren't gonna do anything.
okay, so yeah, for sure, you find a busted chair leg down there. Make an attack using fighter.
All right, 44, and let's go. That is a 3 question mark.
All right, that's cool. I'm just going to roll defense for Frankenstein. All right, that's a tie. So if you want to hurt him, you're going to have to invoke an aspect or aspects.
Yeah, I think let's see. I think maybe always ready with a fix. So I think even though this normally applies to patching up stuff, um, I think what Judy has done is when she fashions together like a quick weapon from the chair leg, um, she manages to um, like break it in such a fashion that there's a little bit more reach from the shaft extending through the chair leg, and is able to hook it behind the monster
Mm-hmm.
and sort
Nice.
of redirect her attack from the front towards the behind.
All right, so spending a fate point to invoke that aspect,
Yeah.
and are you gonna? So that's gonna do 2 shifts of harm. Are you gonna leave it there, or do you want to do some more damage?
Yeah, let's do it. I think I think Judy's very like um, not pleased with the situation. So, um, hmm, how did Kraken take out her brains again with what again?
A gun.
Again, mm.
You can have a gun. Like,
No. I don't need a gun. I don't need a gun.
So you've already like what's happening is already that you're like hitting her with the chair leg. You've just got to think about like what aspect you want to invoke to make that like more effective.
Yeah, um, I think seeing that violence driven before her, like when Judy sees the brain splatter, it sort of like
Mm.
triggers like a sort of bloodlust in her, as well as like arousal. And so when she attacks Frankenstein, the monster, sorry, and like this might be a little out of sequence. When she does, she reaches over to Kraken and like kisses him.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
amazing!
And
nice.
Kraken is a bad habit I can't quit. So like even though they've been trying to like maintain a sense of professionalism here, I think what's this? She remembers in the violence like exactly what it is that attract lures her to Kraken.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to tell you, if you invoke like 2 more shifts of harm will be enough to take out Frankenstein. Do you want to finish the fight, or do you want to leave it to Nikko to do that?
Um, I think we'll try to finish the fight.
All right. So you just need to invoke 1 more aspect to do that. So
I think. What other aspects are left here? Let me check the old cellar. We've got.
I mean, there's brains all over the place. If that somehow helps you.
Where is that? I think deeply structurally unsound. So as she's beating the monster and with stuff, Judy sort of kicks the monster hard and tries to shove him into a corner where the foundations of the cellar are a little unsound, and I'm hoping that brings a little. I doubt I can bring the whole place down on us. I'm not the fucking Incredible Hulk, but it definitely should loosen enough, like of the stonework in here or the woodwork here to, collapse a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a cool dramatic end to the fight if like you hit Frankenstein back so hard that the whole room starts to collapse and you all have to like run to get out. But yeah, I mean that's gonna do it. You watch the ceiling come down on Frankenstein. You hear the last moans of its undead life, and I mean, I guess you have completed another iHunt gig.
Yeah, go for it,
Nikko.
Oh, I imagine, Nikko just like tugs himself out because he's pretty freaking injured. He can take 6 stress physically, and he has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 stress, and right now he's at 5. So there's just like.
Oh, you look great. You look great. You're fine.
He looks like the end of someone.
You're in the sexy hurt. Degree of harm.
Yeah, I'm like strolling out of a battle in some Camelot movie, like covered in cuts and bruises and blood, like trickling down my eyebrow.
Yeah.
Looks good doing it, but limping a little.
All right. So let's pause here and we'll take a break. We'll come back in 10 minutes and see what comes next.
Cool. We got this in an hour.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We're all back. All right. So we lost Thomas.
Thomas, can you hear us, or is your camera just out? You are muted, Thomas, if you don't realize.
Thomas is asking you to come back in. We have 2 Krakens.
Yeah.
So we'll just give it a couple minutes, hopefully for Thomas's internet to recover. It's weird. I keep getting new add Thomas to the stream.
How many Thomases can you add to the group?
Well, now there's none.
Add all of them. Add all of them.
Oh my God. That sounds like that could be your new iHunt gig. All the multiple Krakens. Well, that could be an iHunt gig.
Oh, hey. Doppelgangers. Demonic aspects.
I am always down for the version of me in the mirror or doppelganger. Like that is like one of my tasty. Like if I see this in a game, I'm clicking on it.
Ah, interesting.
You can't go wrong with split one character into 2 selves, or take 2 characters and make them one. Wait, I'm referencing Star Trek again, aren't I?
Listen, I am very into the Mirrorverse version of Star Trek. I have, yes, the amount of fan fiction I've read about that stuff knows no bounds.
Checking archive of our own. Types K. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I don't really write anything. I just read.
I see.
Can I just ask, are either of you having any trouble staying connected to roll with me today?
I'm not.
I don't think so.
Every time I navigate to another tab, it makes me refresh when I go back, which is
That's a root of it.
That's your laptop rebelling against you again, as it is wont to do.
Thomas. It looks like you're back with us.
Yeah. StreamYard was giving me some trouble.
Yeah, I was just complaining about my own laptop troubles. All right. So you successfully dispatched the two Frankensteins, I guess. The bartender paid you. It's never really as much money as it seemed like it was going to be once iHunt takes their cut.
That's
all
life.
of
Very
that.
good.
That's life.
Very good.
Nikko, you clear all your stress. Well, anyone who took any stress in that scene clears it. We're going to do a bit of a montage, I guess. So I assume that you're not taking like an iHunt gig every single night. You need some downtime to recover. Those of you who are getting older, you're up past midnight, so that's going to take a toll. Probably like a week, maybe two goes by before you are back on the app looking for another job. So what I'd like, first of all, is just to get each of you to frame a scene or narrate a vignette just about your everyday life during that week. Just tell us a bit about about your obligations or something that you had to do during the time, whether that's work or something else. Nikko, can I get you to lead off?
Yeah. I think we get handfuls of scenes of Nikko looking at ads in papers about share houses or just the cheapest of apartments because anti-Christian Death Star has gone sort of semi MIA, isn't around, and so that is no longer a crash bot that he can rely on. And the few people he otherwise has to crash at are starting to get maybe a little bit frustrated with him. Not that he's a bad house guest or anything, but just, a lot. And so we get, just him desperately trying to find a place, looking at how much was taken out of this recent cut and chomping at the bit a bit to get a job, but knowing that Kraken and Judy have more responsibilities / it takes them a little more, maybe even getting a little frustrated by that.
All right. So that's awesome. So you find a new place that you can stay. What's wrong with it?
Ooh, he finds the place. Okay, so he finds a place, and it's the first time I think in 3 or 4 years that he's actually had a place that wasn't just couch surfing.
Mm-hmm.
And so to him, it's perfect. But to anyone else, the constant noise from below, because it's above a bar,
Mm-hmm.
would be absolutely maddening. There is never quiet.
Is it your own apartment? Or are you sharing, or what sort of?
I think right now it's just him, but they are looking to place someone else. So it's 2 very small bedrooms, a singular bathroom that's so tiny, and then the rest of the space, which again is small, is basically
Mm-hmm.
stove, fridge, 1 counter, 1 sink, and then just barely enough space to squeeze a couch and a table with 2 seats, and that's it.
Nice. And so you're posting Facebook ads looking for a housemate to somehow squeeze in there with you?
Yeah, that would be really helpful because I can barely keep up with what it is. And the bar also has a little sign, but I posted, young guy kind of out often, working, looking for someone else to split space, like lovely space, close, and like he like uses things like close to the life of the city, like and it's about
Cozy.
the
I think
history.
that's the code word for
Yeah,
small, right? Like,
and he posts something like waterfront view, but there's just a pond on the other side of the window. Fun fact, someone where I grew up did that. They had a house and they're like, it's a waterfront view, and there was like a pond across the street.
All right.
It's in
So
front of the water.
I look forward to finding out who Nikko ends up living with, if anyone. But that's awesome. Judy, tell us what happens during your week.
I think during Judy's week, she spends it on uh, like studying YouTube tutorials on how to on cooking. Like she's trying to learn how to like make stuff on her own, and she's even bought her first decent set of knives, uh, in a real quote unquote adult moment, and yeah, so like just trying to be a self-taught cook or self-taught chef, I guess, or at least the beginning of it.
How's work going?
Work is going okay. It still doesn't pay great, and it's still, I mean, catering is catering, right? So we all know how, underappreciated work that is.
Who are you having trouble with at work?
I think, um, I'm having trouble at work with a coworker who is slacking off because he is convinced that he is not going to be holding this job for very much longer. Like he's one break away from, like, I guess, let's say he thinks he's going to get an acting gig. That's what it is. He thinks he's going to be a star someday, and so he's just been like, oh, which is why put in. He's not saying it out loud, but like, why put into work, of this thing when I'm not going to be here anyway. Like, come tomorrow, come next week.
So just letting you
And try to
pick up the
cover his
slack.
ass, basically.
What's his name?
His name, let's call him Greg.
Greg. And I think like your boss has noticed that the work is a bit slower, and kind of knows that Greg has always been useless, and so kind of is like the pressure is on you. Like, why isn't it going how it's supposed to be going? And if you're covering for Greg, then maybe that's the stress is coming down on you in particular. Kraken, tell us about something that happens during your week.
yeah, I think it's a tough week. I think there's a proto union meeting for trying to organize iHunt
Interesting.
people, and like nobody turns up. It's like Kraken and like two others, and then it's frustrating. Stuff at the newspaper isn't going super well. Apparently, someone in the organization is like, Kraken's agony aunt column. Like nobody likes it, nobody reads it, and Kraken's like, I'm basically doing it for free. Like I do all the other things, and I get this column, and it's like my space, and there's a bit of a fight where I kind of try to assert that nobody can take this damn column away from me. But I think as that's going on, I get a letter. Like one of the questions in the column is like from somebody with like deep regrets over uh, not confessing their feelings for somebody, and like in the purpose of like crafting that reply, I realized that like I'm like I don't know, I think it's this hectic week. I like I like have all these like thoughts, and I go like, yeah, this applies to me as well. So I take out my phone and I just text Judy like, do you want to get married? Like,
Get married? You text a proposal? My God. What time of day is it when you text this?
It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
2 o'clock. So, Judy, what do you do when you get this text? Do you get it at 2 p.m. or do you have to does it wait till you finish your shift or are you muted, Matthew?
First of all, somebody tried to call me on Facebook Messenger, so I couldn't hear the context by which. What the fuck happened in your
Well,
life
you have.
that led to you texting
No,
me?
this is perfect.
Do you want to get married?
This is perfect because Judy does not have any context either. So
That is true. That is true. But
There's not that much context anyway. It's just been a tough week, you know.
But what time did you text it again? You said, was it in the morning, like early
2
morning?
p.m.
Oh, 2 p.m. Thank God. But I think what happens is Judy looks at sees the message, and then you see it is this text or this is text, right? I don't know how
Yeah.
I don't know how smartphones work. Let's see. So, she reads it and doesn't know what to do with that message and goes to her shift before answering it.
So you're
And
not
I think
replying for at least 8 hours or something?
maybe
or...
4 hours. So I don't think a whole catering gig lasts that long.
All right, so just hold that thought. So Kraken, 4 hours go by with no reply. How is that for you?
I think somewhere like 1 or 2 hours in, I text again, going or not. It's fine. Just
When Judy replies, finally, she's like, "Have you been day drinking again?"
I think I send text back again. This is all SMS, right? I'm not using the internet for this. I can't send you a picture, right? Text back
Yeah,
at my desk,
which is great.
working
Actually,
hard.
which is great also because you can't see a message that says "read by Judy"
Yeah.
because it's SMS. Well, yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Your reply, Kraken's reply to the question is.
I think the it's not full sentences. It's just at my desk, head clear, serious thoughts only.
Judy sighs and goes, "And what is your moment of clarity?" Basically trying to compel you to
what does that
spill.
mean? Yeah.
She's
Sorry?
basically trying to compel you to spill, how you came to this realization of wanting to marry, and I guess she's also trying to get a confession from you, a sincere confession. You gotta make the pitch, Kraken.
Uh, I can't believe this conversation is still over text at this point. But I think let's keep this going.
Yeah.
I think it's again life's too short. Full stop. Too many regrets. Full stop.
This is truly the least romantic proposal that I've ever experienced or heard of.
I say,
Yeah, go on.
yeah, and Judy goes you know what? That's sweet. That's that's sweet. That's adorable. What say? What say we see each other for dinner after our next gig? I can't say I'm not intrigued.
That is such a generous response.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously, it is. Even Judy's doubting, why I don't. Judy's doubting, what good reason does she have to say no? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, as long as it's come from a sincere place. The problem is that she's not sure Kraken knows what he's doing. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
No, that
Yeah.
is fair.
I mean, your relationship with Kraken previously has been that he's a bad habit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that was amazing.
So it's almost like he needs to be proposing for the right reasons, quote unquote. Whether Judy knows what
She
right reasons means is
can't
something else
quit
altogether.
shit. She can't quit. It's bad habit, but she can't quit. These are
I know.
the two important details.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
To me, there's a big difference between can't quit and will consider marrying, but okay, that's fine. Nikko, you before your last gig got a phone number for the hot bartender Orion at Littlefoot. So
Yes.
since we're having this nice romantic scene right now, do you use that phone number?
I think we get a scene of Nikko like sweaty, like sitting on a box, and like he shouldn't actually be sweaty now that I think about it. Never mind, he's not sweaty because he doesn't have a lot of stuff to move. So he's sitting on like this singular box that contains all of his own belongings, like everything he owns. And he pulls out his phone, and he has the number like saved with her name. And we watch for like 10 seconds as he like not 10 seconds, like literally 10 minutes as he like writes something. He's like, no, not that. Writes something. No, that can't be that. And like he turns for a moment as if to ask anti-Christian Death Star for advice, but anti-Christian Death Star is not there. That honestly, thank God though. As he realizes, oh wait, even if he was here, maybe I shouldn't ask him for advice. Before this man child just sends sup. just sends sup.
Amazing. I wonder. I'm tempted to say that you should roll to see if she replies to your text message.
I'm down for that.
I think it's they. So I guess that would probably be an overcome roll, maybe using influencer, or I guess socialite is probably the relevant skill.
Okay, so that'll be a +1 for socialite. A 0.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to roll for Orion. No particular defense. All right. So I think Orion surely must text back something like "New phone, who dis?"
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, this is Nikko. We met when I took care of your Frankenstein problem at your workplace. That's who this is. Thank God he's pretty.
You are trying to make this happen, right? Like you are like
Listen. Thank God Nikko was pretty, okay? Like
So what will they say? I think that they'll text back, when I gave you my number, I thought you might ask me out.
And I think we get like a really dismal view of Nikko looking at like a very empty wallet. Like maybe there's like a $5 in there and that's it. Sorry, work gigs have been kind of busy. How do you feel about a stroll in the park?
Nice.
And you get the notification that they have read your text message, and that's all.
Yeah. Nikko just opens the fridge and takes out the final can of what is it, like a Natty Light or a Pabst Blue Ribbon, whatever the cheapest fucking possible beer is.
Nice. So this seems like it transitions smoothly into the three of you deciding on your next gig.
Yes.
Is there anything else that anyone wants to like mention or tell us about what happens during that week before you start looking for more iHunt work?
I'm going to mention one thing real quick.
Hmm.
I think Nikko sends a text to Anti-Christian Death Star,
Hmm.
and it says, struck out with the girl at the bar, and it just like, there is no message received, there is no read, it is just nothingness to the reply.
Damn.
Yeah.
Kraken, Judy, is there anything else that happens to you during the week that you want to talk about?
They have a wedding.
I think what I want to set up a little bit for Kraken is some drama. So I want to, I mean, specific capital D now, in the sense that I think someone at work messages him and says that another official Kraken Bombay Twitter account has been created and is like tweeting as if it's him. And Kraken's like, God damn it! Like, I need to. Play. And this person is seeing some real conspiracy stuff about.
Paid Elon for that blue check mark, huh?
So who's your friend at work who lets you know this sort of stuff?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's like the first idea that came into my head is like weird, but I'm gonna like think. What if her name is also Judy? Like, what if this is just like we just cause some confusion for no reason?
Judy too?
Judy too. Yeah.
Yeah. So Judy too lets you know about this. It's a good thing you didn't accidentally propose marriage to the wrong Judy.
Yeah.
Maybe you did. Judy too will also like, come up to you one day. I don't know. Like, is the newspaper big enough that there's like office space, or do you work from home?
It's like 4 people in one room.
Yeah, in this economy.
We have an office. It's one room, and there's 4 people in it, and we
like
kind of
hot
shout at
desking,
each other.
yeah.
Wow, just like that's just like the news offices in this country.
And I mean, I think that one day when you're both in the office, Judy too will, say something like, Kraken, I'm kind of surprised you've been taking these rumors so well. It seems like the sort of thing you would really hate.
What rumors?
Well, that they're going to end the print edition of the paper and shift us all online.
No. Sorry.
Wait, who's saying that? Like, who exactly said that?
Oh, there's a lot of just online chatter about it in the the Signal group, just lists a whole bunch of websites and platforms.
I just want to say I'm not here and I'm not in character when I say this. When I'm saying, Kraken, you better get ready for a new podcasting career. That's what you gotta do. You gotta be all like solving crimes via podcast.
That's very good. Judy, there's a really simple line between people who should know whether this is gonna happen and like just random strangers saying things. Like, did someone from the paper say that we're going online? In which case, who and when, and should I kill them? Like, just.
Speaking from personal experience, he says first people to find out. The only way you find out about your jobs being changed or lost in media, it's usually not from the bosses, but from a report elsewhere.
Yeah, so Judy too will definitely tell you like there's no official word yet, but like what they're like here about communicating with us about this sort of stuff. And, you think back to all the changes, like all of them for the worse over the years that you've been working at this paper. And it's true, like there's never been an official announcement as the source of any of them.
Okay, so there's an owner somewhere, right? Like there's somebody who's the publisher of the paper Shall we
Yeah.
give them a name and shall I go and like kick their door down?
Oh, I mean, surely it's just like a company, right? Like it's some venture capital company. There's not like a personal owner.
Oh, okay, okay. um, what do you do when you can't kick a door down? um, and you're not on the internet. Okay, I go. I stand up on my desk and I look at everybody in this room, all four people, and I go, if they make us go online, we all quit, right?
Nobody makes eye contact with you. Everyone just like sort of looks up, hears what you say, and looks down and goes back to typing. Sort of shrugs awkwardly.
I think that's where the scene should end. Like I think
All right,
it's just Kraken on the desk going, "Who's with me?" No.
perfect. Um, Judy, is there anything else that happens for you during the week before you meet up to take your new job?
Um, I don't think so, unless you have some kind of like complication to introduce with regard to the catering gig and that slacker do well, do nothing, Greg.
I don't think I do yet, but I will circle back around to that at some point, I think.
Sure, sure.
I mean, how are things with your family? Like that was a source of tension for you as well, right?
Yeah, I think the late hours are causing my parents to be excessively concerned, I think, but so I guess maybe fretted or uh, about overed by one of them, especially given the amount of injuries that are on my arms from fighting, which I'm attributing to catering.
Wow. All right.
Uh, At least, if my mom or my dad asks me like why I don't quit, I'll say or whatever. Like it's not as bad as what fast food workers go through.
I mean, surely what your mom actually says or asks is like, when are you going to settle down? Like, surely there must be some nice man out there who's going to ask you to marry him.
Nice, nice.
Does it have to be a nice man? Can it just be a bad man?
Judy, why do you always say things like this?
Because you have to stop pressuring me.
Come on, you tell us. Is there anyone that you're serious about?
um, Trust me, if there was someone, uh, you'd be the last to know.
All right.
Very good.
So, smash cut to like the loading screen of the iHunt app. I can't remember if we established this last time, but is there somewhere that the three of you typically meet up to like decide what gigs to go on? Do we want to say that like Littlefoot Bar is going to be that spot now, or maybe the bar that Nikko is living over, or like where do you go?
Ah,
I think Littlefoot Bar is too fancy for us.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Uh,
I assume it's a pretty ugly dive bar that you're living over. Is that more your
Yeah.
style?
I'm gonna name it Patios, Paddy space O, after a real bar where I live that I have spent a lot of time playing D&D in.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
It's just a dive bar.
All right.
Dungeons and dive bars.
Dungeons and Dive Bars, aka a bar doing so poorly they'll let us take the back area entirely every Monday because we order a lot of beer, or did.
Nice. So you're all sitting around a table at patios. Somebody's opened up iHunt on their smartphone, and normally it takes you straight to the gig page. But this time, when you open it up, a video starts to play, and you see some very photogenic young iHunters talking about how much they like iHunt, how much they appreciate the freedom that it gives them, the flexibility that it fits in with their lifestyles, and sort of eventually this video winds its way around to the point that they just think a union would be really bad for iHunt, and that's why they like the company the way it
I
is.
hate it. I hate this video. Sorry, that was me talking, not Judy.
And
I think Kraken. This reminds me. I think Kraken will turn to Nico and Judy in the beginning of this and go like, "I didn't see you guys at the union meeting."
I had a gig. I'm sorry.
There was a union meeting? I mean, there was a union meeting?
Shakes head.
so I've added a tab to the Keeper called I Hunt Week 2 that has the available gigs on it. It's at the far right of the Keeper. Excuse me. So again, there are 3 gigs available. Have a look and then talk about which one you would like to take.
I'm game for the first 2, I think.
Not interested in the Retirement Village Vampire?
We just fought Frankenstein's monster. I'm not keen on facing another, uh, universal monster.
Fair.
Let's see. They don't mention anything about what they pay.
Yeah, no. So we're just sort of like hand waving the pay. None of them are going to pay heaps well. All of them will be like enough money to get you through to another sort of financial problem between gigs. But any of these, if you pull them off, would be enough, like either to pay rent for like, I don't know what, a week, a couple of weeks, a month, or to take Orion out on a decent date.
Okay.
Ooh.
Definitely not both.
Definitely not both.
Definitely not a fully catered wedding.
I think Nico's down for whatever. Honestly, Nico's like, what if we took more than one job? Like,
I mean, that
he will
is
propose that to the group.
I mean, that's an option. You do have the difficulty that, if you take a job and don't resolve it within the time, that's going to affect your rating on the app. So that's one of the reasons why you would take fewer jobs. But of course, you might need both rent and a nice date. So maybe you need to take 2 jobs.
Yeah. Or, wedding.
So isn't it like sort of logically, I assumed the app wouldn't let us take 2 jobs simultaneously, like with one not being complete. But also, like fictionally, is there any cost to taking 2 jobs? Like, how would we play that as?
I mean, it's just about, you're just going to have to organize your time because, like, just remember that in the fiction, all of you have some sort of day job that you need to do. You've got other sorts of commitments in your lives. So, like, the fictional consequences that I'm going to try and like put some stress on those aspects and make you like, budget your time, deal with, how you're going to get enough rest if you're doing 2 iHunt jobs plus your day jobs plus, other stuff. But I think like with the app, like at least two of you have the app on your phone. So 2 of you can take separate gigs and like that, the app won't prevent you from doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we do that? I feel like we're all desperate enough.
Yeah.
I just proposed that as a funny, but that's hilarious if we actually do it.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Consequences?
Then I'm gonna pitch that if we're like doing 2 jobs, we shouldn't do the bank robberies because that sounds like we have to like solve a case, like which I could do, but like feels like it would take time. Like I don't know how you will have.
Yeah, Nico's ready to do dumb shit.
go.
He's a hitter. He's like, I can punch things, no problem.
I'm only worried that one of you is going to get tempted to take make us take 3 jobs. That's my only worry.
Well, we're down an anti-Christian Death Star. So once we get a 4th member, maybe we can try 3 jobs. But since we're only 3, we should probably stick to 2.
Yes, the universal rule of X plus 1. Yes, because that's the logic we were going with.
So Kraken has pitched that I think that you take Mushroom Monster and Retirement Village Vampire, but Judy didn't want to take Retirement Village Vampire.
No, again, I think that was something that I'm happy to be convinced against, because it's more important what we're interested as players.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to do I do like Matthew's logic. I think Mushroom Monster and Satanist bank robbers just sounds fun.
I just love the idea of Satanist bank robbers, honestly.
Honestly, Judy feels like the default leader now that Anti-Christian Death Star is not here.
What?
So Nikko like makes a suggestion. What if we do 2? Buy. Like I got a place. I could actually try and buy a bed. So some money would help with that.
Yeah.
But Judy, you've been at this, and he like looks between Judy and Kraken. You've been at this the longest, Judy. What do you think?
When Nikko says this, like, you guys have been at the longest, with I assume complete sincerity and earnestness. Like, all it does is like remind Judy. I can't speak for Kraken, but it reminds Judy of how quote unquote old she is, and she's just like lets out a full-bodied sigh. Like, oh my god, we have been at this for a while. But because it doesn't really like verbally like cue up any response for that. Just yeah, okay, yeah, we have been at this the longest, and yeah, we'll take 2 jobs. I think that's an I think we can handle that. It's not too much more than what we've already done before, and
Shane looks so happy.
I also noticed that Judy agreed to like have dinner with Kraken to talk about the proposal after their next gig, and now Judy's like, "Yeah, what about 2 jobs?"
Yeah. Don't perceive my characterization, Shane.
Yeah, so Nikko's gonna look. All right, so which 2 are we doing?
I'd say the Mushroom Monster and the local bank with witch problem sound good to me. What do you think, Kraken?
Yeah, I mean, if let's do the Satanist bank robbers, and if we find out that one of them is old Star Wars, that would make a lot of sense. But,
Yes.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Because like Kraken, you do journalism, right? And you like you do journalism, so you're like investigative. I can punch mean mushroom killers, and like Judy can be like our, back and forth. And then like once we just punch mushrooms, we can then punch the guys you find.
I just want to say, Kate, this is an authentic recreation of of my interactions with the 125-year-old in my multiplayer group. Yeah.
I think Kraken is still like, what does Nikko think journalism is? Like, just still like you do journalism. Like,
Yeah. Also, if anti-Christian Death Star were to suddenly appear in this situation, it wouldn't be inconvenient. Puckett might get a tickle out of that.
All right. So it sounds like you've settled on local bank with a witch problem and mushroom monster as the 2 gigs you're going to accept.
Yeah.
We're at the top of the hour again, so let's take like 5 minutes, and we'll come back and find out some more about these jobs that you've taken on.
Sure.
Cool.
awesome.
Cool. All right. So you have 2 jobs. You need to go meet with the um, the people who are offering these jobs. Are all three of you going to go to each one together, or are you going to split up to go like talk to these people separately? Like, what's the plan? Matthew, you're muted.
I think it's best if the three of us go to each individual job. That way we can get briefed on both, and then like best determine how to allocate our quote unquote team.
Oh, you're all cool with that?
Yeah, that's fine. Judy, again, Nikko feels like Judy is default leader in certain senses. I am a blunt object. Point me where you need me.
All right. So the bank is like right here in town. You can just pop over there whenever. The location for the mushroom monster is kind of like an hour out of town, up in the forest to the northeast. Where are you going to go first?
I think I think we should try checking on the satanic robbers first.
Kraken, how do you feel that your proposal is just sort of hanging in the air and now Judy is acting like the group leader?
I think I am like every time like Judy talks, I am like waiting for her to say something about the proposal, and she keeps talking about like work, and I'm like, oh, this is normal. Like this isn't like this. Oh yeah, I just need to like the next thing she says will be about that, and I think that will go on uh, for at least the first half of the evening or the night or whatever.
And I want it to be known that Judy doesn't avoid Kraken's like at all. Like speaks directly at him. Just behaving as if everything is normal.
Yeah.
Nikko, do you notice anything strange or tense between these two?
I think Nikko like sees Kraken watching Judy, and kind of just eventually is just gonna like nudge Kraken and be like, "Why do you keep staring at Judy?"
Honestly like a baffling question coming from a 21-year-old, but like just truly like Kraken, Kraken will look at Nikko and go like, focus on the job. Just come on, like, come on, be a professional. Like,
Nikko will raise a brow and be like, "That's why I'm asking you. It's kind of unprofessional for you to just stare at Judy like that."
Nikko, wise beyond his years.
Wow, I love Nikko so much.
Has insightful moments. A lot of dumb, some insightful.
oh wow, Nikko, and when I say this, it comes from the heart. It's none of your damn business.
We just lost one of our team members.
They didn't
And if
die.
you guys-
They quit. Like it's a like,
And if you guys screw this up by screwing, I'm gonna be pissed. I just got a place. I need this money.
Am I within earshot of this? I mean, it's okay if I'm not. In fact, I'd rather not be. But let me know.
I think
how
it doesn't
loud-
make
let
sense
me-
if you can hear this.
Let me know how loudly you want to project that.
I was picturing that they're talking quietly, like in the backseat of the car while you're driving.
That's
That's what I imagined. I don't know if that's
All right.
fine. Yeah.
Let's just say we have a very, very we have music on as well.
Yeah. All right. So you arrive at Eubank San Gennaro, which is this sort of like small strip mall banking outlet, part of a national chain or like a franchise of a national chain. Inside, it's not at all fancy. The carpet is cheap. One of the ATMs has an out of order sign handwritten on it. The customers are all quite older people. It doesn't seem like a lot of money is moving through here. Security guard looks a bit, bedraggled himself. But you're there to meet Ted Vuber, who is the manager. He welcomes you into his office, which is, sort of pokey as well. He's a fresh-faced young guy, maybe a little bit of premature balding. He's got a button-up shirt and tie with no jacket. And he says, thanks for coming. Take a seat. Do you want tea, coffee, a little bit of nervous energy?
I'll take a coffee.
Great. So he's making coffee. Well, no, wait. He must have an executive assistant. So even if it's a small bank, he has like a secretary or someone who will take the coffee orders and sit down. And he says, like, okay, so have you heard about these coven robberies? And I mean, Kraken definitely will, because I assume that Kraken at least like keeps abreast of local news. The others, to whatever extent you're across the news, like probably have heard of this as well. So there has been this small string of local bank robberies, and what links these robberies is that the thieves, the perpetrators, wear these sort of bright green plastic witch masks, like really cheap novelty store witch masks. They carry shotguns. They're not visibly doing magic or anything like that, but they're called the Coven because this is their gimmick, the witch masks. So look, they hit our bank just a couple of weeks ago. They came in here with their shotguns. They made everyone get on the floor. They took me to the vault and tied me up. It's the last thing I remember. When I woke up, the vault was open and they'd taken like all of the cash, like 38 grand. The security cameras didn't catch anything. They somehow stopped working. I got the problem that insurance won't pay out. So I'm on the hook for all of this money because they say there's no evidence of safe cracking or tampering and that it must have been me. There must have been some sort of inside job, that it's a scam. But I think that the reason why there's no evidence of safe cracking or tampering is because the witches, these fake witch mask witches, really are witches and that they use magic to open the vault. Do you see
How
this?
did
And he sort of like shoves a hand towards you, and in the hand is just like some black, like nothing. And he
like
sort of
a
shuffles,
smudge,
he
like a
sort of
smudge,
like
basically.
drops it onto the desk in front of you, and he says, "Black candle wax. I found that by the vault door, just like Satanists use in their black masses." So, what do you say? You bust these witches for me?
Have you spoken to all the employees in the branch just to make sure it wasn't an inside job, or even if it was an inside job, that maybe one of your employees is a Satanist slash witch?
I mean, the police took statements from everyone who was here, but I don't. I'm sure none of my employees would do anything like that. Like, I'm the only one who has the override code for the time lock. Like, normally to open the safe, there's a time delay. I'm the only one who has the access code that would override that. Other people might be able to get into it, but there would be like clear evidence, and it would take a long time.
Not to be
Okay.
absurd, but I had to ask you, sir. How have you been feeling lately? Have you been sleeping well? Are there moments of time that you can't account for? Uh, you
Been
know,
hexed lately?
Yeah, I got you. He like as you say this, he kind of reaches for his hairline and looks nervous. He says, I don't think I mean, I do feel quite stressed. My doctor says my blood pressure has been high, but I don't know. How would I know?
Uh, Also, I mean, we'll come back to the hex, but do you write your code anywhere, like on your desk or anything like that? Just also, we come back to the witch thing, but But like, do you just remember the code, the override code, or is it like on your computer?
So it is on the computer. Like obviously, there's a protocol for if something was to happen to me. It is
Right.
saved in an encrypted file, but uh, it's not written down anywhere. Like nobody
Okay.
would be able to access it without my password and without like a digital record being created.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. That makes sense. Yeah. Going back to the hex thing. Yeah. Take it away, Judy.
Um, Perhaps I think what Jude proposes to the bank manager is that we'll talk to the employees to see if they can, because if with your complete I don't know how to do this in characters. I'll just like say,
Mhm.
I think what he does is that he approaches the bank manager. She approaches the bank manager with sort of like a sense of reassurance that that they are being taken seriously, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it's like we need to be absolutely sure. So we're going to talk to the other employees because if it's not an inside job and there's no apparent safe cracking, then it has to be that it's an inside job in which somebody doesn't know that they were part of the inside job, whether it was negligence on the part of the employees or or it was in your in the case of like a bank code, like maybe someone uh putting a hex on you or prying the information from your mind. So I think talking to the employees to see if there was any unusual changes in your behavior would help us in that regard.
Oh my God, what if I really was? What if it was me? Oh my
Yeah,
God, you've really given me some things to think about. But
he's a
yes,
he's he's a little excited about that, isn't he? Just a little, just like
uh,
1%
I think like
So,
intrigued.
Nico.
oh no, you can go. I'll cut in after.
I was just gonna say, like, he's excited that finally someone is taking his crackpot theory about magic seriously.
Yeah,
I think Nico's like, can you describe the people that came in? Maybe that's like a helpful thing.
Well, they were wearing witches' masks. I mean, it's kind of hard to
How
say.
many?
Yeah, there were four of them. Sorry, there were three of them. Um, I understand from what people have said that there was a fourth waiting in a car outside. Um, they had shotguns. I don't know about you, but I've never like seen a gun like that in real life. It was hard to focus or think really. They I think they were white. They were average height. They were men. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's anything else I could really tell you about them. They seemed
yes.
fair. Well, no, I don't know.
Did they seem like angry at all? Or
No, they were
like,
very calm and professional.
okay.
I think it's at this point I want to propose like out of character that maybe Judy or Kraken will stay here and like take the statements and investigate more thoroughly, and then two of us can go like look into the mushroom situation.
So
Yeah.
I just want to propose as an alternative, in the specific sense that I have not prepped enough to like do the investigation. That
Okay.
you like
Focus.
ask any preliminary questions that you've got, and then we can say that fictionally, like some of you stay to take the statements, but in terms of what's happening during this session, you then go and talk to the mushroom person.
That's
Okay,
And
yeah.
fair.
to that case, and then the investigations happen next time.
I think, yeah, that works. I think when we're in the car, Nico's going to propose something.
Oh.
Well, is there anything else you want to ask Ted before you go? Um,
You're a little young to propose, aren't you, Nico? Just kidding.
Nico,
Uh,
no, stop.
sorry,
No,
I couldn't resist jumping on.
yeah, you're good. Nico will ask if we can have access to security cameras. Like, It's the bank, right? Can we see the footage?
Yeah, so the footage just went to static during the bank robbery, but you're
Okay.
definitely welcome to have the tapes.
So if there's any before or little bits or things.
Yeah, I can arrange that for you. I can send you like a Dropbox link or something so you can watch them.
Yes.
Cool.
I
Anything
have
I
a
can do to
question
help?
actually.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Shane, I don't know how you want to play this, whether it's something like we can roll for it to be true or not. But I wanna ask Ted whether like he's been doing anything new lately, like whether he's got a new tattoo or like new haircut or bought some new clothes or anything like that. Because I'm thinking about all the people I know uh, who uh, who I've heard gotten hexed and stuff. Like at one point in time, somebody just when they got a tattoo, someone just put the hex straight on the skin, and it's just works, just works.
So, I mean, I don't have anything planned for this. So I think that the answer is one thing you can do with a fate point is declare a story detail. So if you want to reveal something like that, you can spend a fate point and establish a fact in the fiction.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I think I will spend a fate point and I will say, Ted, is that a new tattoo over there? And kind of like point. I mean, what's a place I would be able to see? Is he dressed in full sleeves? Like,
I mean, he must. If you can see the tattoo, like he must have his shirt sleeves rolled up, or maybe he's even wearing like a short sleeve shirt. You can see like just the hint of this tattoo poking out under the sleeve.
So, like on his bicep or whatever. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, is that new? Could I just see that? And I like if he shows it to me, yeah, it can be something like. I mean, Ted's a loser, so like I don't know what's the loser tattoo, but it's like
Like, okay, so I guess it must be like it's ugly. It's very bad. I mean, is it like an overtly occult tattoo? Like, has he got himself a demonic sigil or something, or is it
So
like something
I think it's
innocuous?
hidden in there. Like I think that's what
Yeah,
I'm seeing.
right.
I think what he asked for is something like the
Like a
infinity symbol and like the words like like we are forever or something like that.
yes,
And I see like in that thing like oh shit, okay, like this forms a
yeah,
cult symbol. Like
yeah. That's cool. So he's very excited to show off his tattoo. Like, he's not just a bank manager; he's a cool bank manager.
yeah,
Oh
he
my
is.
god!
Yeah, he is.
Amy Poehler energy.
um, So anything else that you want to ask or talk to Ted about, or we're going to wrap that scene? Cool. So you then drive on out to, there's like a dropped pin on Google Maps to take you to this strange little spot, sort of off-road. You're pulling in to this sort of large, chaotic campground-looking place that's off an access road that's off the highway, leading up into the national forest and the mountains up that way.
So in the car, Nikko is going to propose an idea, which is he's like, so there's this thing that I think maybe we could do. And I think he's like Googled on his phone, like locals, like not like local, but like Satanist, like sort of anarchist kind of hub websites. And he's like, what if we make a post, right? That we're so sick of the capitalist establishment and we wish we could do something about the banks in our area and, maybe even some praise, like, was really happy to see this bank that ripped me off, like Ted's, insert name of Ted's bank. Get some justice and see if anyone reaches out, like, and say, like, I wish I had, I wish I, I would love to join such brave, or like, not like love, but like, wish I could do something that, cool, or, fight the man. That's a thing, right?
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
What if we do
Um,
that?
Uh, I mean, as long as we're clear that this isn't journalism and this isn't, if you know, it's like, let me switch off my journalism brain. Great idea. Switching journalism brain back on, extremely unethical. This is why we get smoked. Is hell on earth. But go on.
all right. Sounds like a
Yeah,
solid plan. Judy, do you have anything to say about Nico's plan?
I actually really like that. I love it a lot.
Cool.
yeah. I think Nikko will take like a picture of himself and do like some kind of like we'll have googled like anarchist hand symbol, like put it next to his face, and then use like a free phone app to kind of semi terribly make it so his hair is a little darker. It looks like he's got like smudged dark makeup on, like change just like a not that great but barely passable like app to color it so it looks a little more in line with like Satanism than he usually is. Set that as his fake accounts. It is catfishing. Set this as his fake account's face ID, kind of a vibe. And then like, yeah, write out this whole post and post it.
I just like the idea of Nico being our master of disguise.
Amazing. So you get this mostly set up, but like by the time you get out to this campsite where you're going, like the reception is like the signal is
There's
not
no
strong on your
reception.
phone, so
Yeah.
you'll have to post it a little later.
Yeah. Sounds
Um,
good.
but you're here to meet someone named Big How, is the name that she uses.
Big
Um,
how?
Big How. So there's like tents all around, a couple of portaloos. There is let's see, like quite a bad smell, like a bit of a rotten smell, or at least a sort of a strange smell. Um, and uh, yeah, one of the like a few of the tents are obviously set up like some sort of like shop like situation, even though you don't see any wares out or anything like that. And one of them has the like, big house open ticket sign that you've been told to look for. So you're able to head over there. There's people around as well. It's not deserted or anything. Um, so Big How turns out to be this short Chinese woman with her hair like tucked behind her ears. She's got her shirt sleeves rolled up. It's a little bit dirty. Um, and she has a kind of big presence that you notice straight away. So you understand why, even though she's short, she's called Big How. And she says, so you're the hunters, right? All right.
Yeah, that's us.
Okay. So, I mean, do you know much about mushroom picking? Yeah.
Actually, no, but it sounded, and like Nico actually genuinely is like, but it sounds really cool. Groceries are kind of getting expensive.
Yeah, that's right. Uh, so, I mean, Matsutake mushrooms are a delicacy in Japan. They grow wild here. We don't, they can't be farmed or anything like that. So, all of these people, she kind of gestures to all these tents around. They head into the forest every day during the season. They forage for mushrooms. They bring them back at night, and me and the other. She like gestures around to some of the other tents. We buy the mushrooms. We ship them off. Um, Mostly, it's like, well, I mean, it's not like it used to be, but it's a decent way to make a living if you're more worried about freedom than in having like all the nice little luxuries of a city life. You know what I mean? Um, you know, I'm sure you're eye hunters. You must understand what I mean by that sort of thing. So I've called you out here because you know I'm worried. People treat me like I'm well respected around here. People like me. People come to me with their problems. Uh, Guy named Art the hippie. He's an older guy, Vietnam vet. He told me a few weeks ago that he saw a mushroom monster out in the woods, towering, made of fungus, hissing and screaming. Said he ran away. Now, I mean, his name's Art the Hippie, right? Like, he smoked some strange things. I didn't think too much about it. I didn't really worry. Told him, to forget about it. But Art the Hippie is dead. And she takes out her phone and she scrolls through to show you and she says, "Look, I'm going to show you some photos of his bodies. It's pretty sorry, his body, his bodies, his body. It's pretty unpleasant. I'm just warning you." And she lays down the phone and sort of scrolls through these photos, and you see, it is like an older guy, long hair, hippie sort of clothes, but with these horrible fungal growths like protruding from his face, his arms, like all the visible surfaces of his body, some strange lumps under his clothes that you assume are more of these kind of fungal growths. You can see that there's been some blood has strained from his mouth as he died. Um, the photos show this body just like lying on the ground. She like skims through them. She says, I'll put these away now. So, I mean, that's it. There's some sort of mushroom monster out there. It's other people have told me they've heard it as well, or heard strange things. They say, you know, like people in the forest, especially closer to the mountain, they say they've heard these, noises like a bear in the woods. And we get some bears around here, but I don't know. It all seems pretty bad to me. Whatever did this to Art, I want it gone before it hurts anyone else.
Mm. Have there been any other reports of the monster or people who have suffered from such injuries? And yeah, yeah.
I mean, nobody else has told me that they've seen anything, but I mean, the kind of people who do this kind of work, they're not, necessarily. I mean, they're not going to go to the authorities. They're not, there's no central like place where they would, tell people necessarily. I have like a pretty good knowledge of what's going on around here, but
Mhm. I
apart from the
mean,
spooky noises, I haven't heard anything.
yeah, because you seem to be someone of the community, and like, and this 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 death alone, this situation alone, this is absolutely unique. You have no other point of comparison or reference to.
We've never had a mushroom monster before, if that's what you're asking. No.
Well,
What about
I'm just sorry, Nico.
sorry, what about like any recent reportings of strange fungus, like in general, not like, murdering people, but people having an issue finding harvests or seeing, is it called infection if it's a mushroom? And he like looks between Kraken and Judy. Uh, stuff like that.
I mean, I haven't really heard anything like people bring me mushrooms every day. They seem like they've always seemed. I haven't noticed any changes in the mushrooms themselves.
Mm. And how has what's the name of the dead hippie, Jim, I think, or something?
Art.
Art. Has Art like is there a coroner's report for Art?
So she kind of looks down as you say that. She puts her hand over her eyes. She says, "I mean, when I say that people around here don't go to the authorities, I feel kind of bad, but I we buried the body."
How many days ago was that?
Uh, well, two days ago, then I posted the ad.
You
Mm.
buried the body?
Well, that's what you do with a body, right?
Did you
She
bury it
looks
in the
ashamed.
forest here? Did you bury it in the forest here?
Well, yeah, of course.
Did you do anything to kill the fungus on the body? Or did you just let it grow on his dead body in the ground, spreading more? And Nico, like, just.
The horrified expression on her face as she realizes that she has not done any such thing is all the answer that you need.
Right.
Oh my god.
I, you know, before this evening ends, I really need to make a pitch to you about cremation. Like, I think Like, we need to talk about the benefits.
Nico's just gonna look at her. All right. Um. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna need to see where that body was buried.
No.
I mean, when in doubt, set it on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a forest, so like controlled. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm not an expert at making sure the fire doesn't kill everything. So like, let's just. But our friend here should be able to help. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can help. But yeah, you should maybe keep your people out of the forest until we're done.
Like there's no way. People like even if I said don't go into the forest, like people nobody's gonna like let me tell them what to do. That's like the whole nature of the kind of people who do this work. They're here because they
Okay.
don't like being told what to do.
Right. I need for their safety. You should go to a dollar store and buy a big bag of whistles. Hand out whistles. We'll be here. We'll be trying to. But if they're out there already and they're in danger, and they blow the whistle really loud, at least maybe we'll hear them. To try and go over there if one of them's getting attacked.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can do that. That seems like a good idea. People will laugh at me a little bit, but that's okay. It might save someone's life. Yeah.
Just show them the dead body photo if they laugh.
I don't know if I want to show too many people. But all right. Anything else that you want from me?
I mean,
I think Nico's gonna lean over to Judy and whisper him, like, "Can we haggle with them?" Is that a thing?
Judy is not inclined to haggle with a client. That's just not what she does. So when Nico suggested, as a player, I don't reject it. But
Yeah,
Judy
yeah.
just sort of like raises her eyebrow at
Nico's like,
Nico, saying, "Are you insane?"
no, but like think about it like this way, like not like money, but what if we get like I don't know if we get like free access to come up here once we fix it to get mushrooms? Groceries are really getting expensive.
You don't need their permission to get mushrooms. Yeah.
But and Nico looks confused because he was under the impression that they have to harvest it. They can harvest it and then sell it to her, but they have to do that. Like they have to sell it to her, is his understanding.
Oh, is that
Yeah, I don't
what's
think we have
happening here?
Yeah, I don't think we have the expertise to just pluck mushrooms out of the forest ourselves and
Yeah.
treat
But
them
that's what
and prepare
Nico
them.
wants to do. That's the part that Nico's ready.
Well, Nico's like, I just want free grocery mushrooms, is what I want.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you say this in front of Big House, she's just gonna be like, "You don't want these mushrooms." Like, white people do not like Matsutake mushrooms. I'm sorry. She like laughs a little.
I'm not white.
Wait, but Nico was saying it, right?
Yeah,
Nico. And oh god, this is bad. This is tiny medium umbrella sad. Nico, I think, directly looks at her and has been like, there have been times where the only thing I have been able to eat is dog food.
Oh my god.
I'm down. Like I am not above a mushroom that apparently people who are white are not inclined to eat. At least it's actually people food.
She like looks at you, like looks at your arms, how like lean they are, and says, "Let me fix you something." She goes. She like stops talking. She just walks away and starts making a big like pile of noodles or something for all three.
It's all muscle. It's like very lean, but it's just like jacked. Like despite being 21, there is very little baby fat to this young man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the baby fat was like erased by starvation.
Erased by being kicked out at 18.
Mm.
Wow.
I live in the third world. I know what that looks like. Thin and
Yes.
muscular.
Yep.
So I think what happens is that you share some noodles with her. So like people start coming up like as it gets later. They're bringing in the mushrooms. They're like haggling over them, selling them. So you get a sense of like how this works. Like you're a bit familiar with the whole situation. You get to recognize some of the people around. They get to see you that you're friends with Big House, so you've got a bit of an in with people, and it's going to be relatively easy for you to start investigating more if that's what you want to do when we come back next time. And maybe that's where we wrap up for today.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can we,
So,
before we forget
yeah.
though, can I make the roll for the social media?
Hmm.
Or is there a roll attached to that?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. So, I think let's do that next time because I want to just
Okay.
think some more about like, I already know some information that you're going to get from that,
Okay.
but I might think more about like whether there's,
I need to
how
roll.
we'll play that out mechanically. Yeah.
Okay. Someone should make a note that reminds us that that is a thing because I may forget. Maybe I'll even make a roll. I mean, a note.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that case, like, let's say that, like, finally the post that you'd been trying to like set up, like the reception, like the wind changes or something, and your phone is like strong enough signal that you manage to upload it, and
Yeah.
after you post it, you get, it goes to an ad on whatever this app is for this big equinox festival that's coming up this weekend in the desert, like just west of here, and sorry, just east of here, right? Because it's a west coast town, so west of here is the ocean. Um, Big equinox festival, and you get the sense that like everyone who's interested in the occult in San Gennaro is going to be at this big like Burning Manish outdoor festival of occult oddness
Sounds good.
over the coming week. And I think that's the image that we'll finish up on. So I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll do stars and wishes.
Sounds good.
Cool.